We are up and going. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So welcome to our new home. This used to be our Twitch, weekly Twitch live stream. We've now moved over to YouTube. And that's a chance for us to migrate everything into one place. You can also see, if you haven't joined us on the YouTube channel before, that we have a few videos going, a composer challenge, and also a sketch to score, as we called it, where we take a simple sketch and turn it into a score. We've got a time limit there to make that work. We're going to be doing some live composing with Poseidon today, which will be cool. I'm going to take a little look at some demos that I did for Poseidon, and then we're going to do something kind of interesting to try and link those demos together. Next composer challenge, diving underwater, searching for Poseidon himself. That would be a cool one. Composing underwater would definitely be one that would be worth trying to give a go. We're trying to think of video ideas, and I can't, that sounds like a definite challenge, trying to compose underwater. I mean, it's hard enough trying to compose on land. I have plenty of trouble doing that. So doing it underwater would be pretty difficult, I think. Can we get a trip to the Mediterranean? We can only do it in the Mediterranean, I think, really keep the authentic, or the Aegean. I'll take the Aegean, but somewhere there. Doing it in the Bristol Channel, probably not quite as fun. So shall we move to our door, and we shall have a setup that looks a little bit more appropriate, I suppose, for what we're going to do today. Cool. So you guys should be able to see my Cubase setup here. Hello, Etudes. Good for you to join us. I'll switch to Cubase if you switch to Mac. Tom, don't do that to yourself. Tom uses Logic, and he uses it very well. Very fine compositions emerge from Tom's Logic setup. But maybe that's a challenge. Maybe we'll do a challenge where I have to use Logic on a Mac, and you have to use Cubase on a Windows, or you have to use my setup and I have to use yours. That would be interesting. All our keyboard shortcuts would be different, and everything wouldn't work, and I'd be even slower than I usually am. That's a really, I think we should do that one. I'll use your setup, you use mine. No cheating, no cheat sheets. It would be painful, but it would be kind of interesting, because I have quite a funky setup in terms of it's very specific to me, because Cubase is great with key commands and all that stuff, but I've set them up in a way that, well, you've seen, poor Tom's had to deal with my edit projects for videos and things, and I'm just not that organized a person. I've come to realize I'm probably never going to be, and poor Tom had to edit something that I'd worked on the other day and had to see my edit project, and honestly, guys, it's not pretty. It's like a Christopher Nolan plot. You know, it's like where do you begin? There's so many. There's stories in stories. There's timelines in timelines. You know, it's not good. It takes a lot of unraveling. Here we are inside of Cubase, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So you can see we've got two different projects here, just a stereo file, and then we've got a few stems as well. So what I've done, I wrote two demos essentially for Poseidon. One was, if you saw the teaser video, I did some music for the teaser video, and then one was a kind of standalone track that I named The God of the Sea, which was a kind of like a product demo, if you like, using Poseidon as the only brass library. What I'm going to do today is maybe try and link these two with some kind of interlude-like music, using the waves and the various different articulations inside of Poseidon, probably some sound design too. As I said, I haven't really thought this through, so this could go badly wrong, but hey, we're just here to hang out, have some fun, do some composition. So it doesn't matter if the composition doesn't end up being brilliant, although I'm kind of hoping it'll be all right. But yeah, I'm going to try and link these two. It's going to be interesting. They're slightly different stylistically, different keys as well. So maybe try and get an 8 or 12 bar section that links them together. Let's play through the first. This was a kind of teaser that we did. One of the first things that we released about Poseidon, I think possibly the first. It looks like you can. So that's our first piece. Thank you, Tom. Ebb and flow. Yeah, that's what Poseidon's all about, those wave motions. So trying to create that feeling of waves. Also, sorry, Cosmodio, I did see you said I was watching your Maestro course earlier today and learned something new. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you so much for taking part in the course. It's been really cool on the Discord seeing how you guys have been learning different things on the course and finding different techniques and tricks. And a few people have shared some music that they've written based on the video in the course. So we've heard the first piece, kind of a bit ambient, swells, very motion driven, trying to sort of show Poseidon in the light that it was sort of conceptualized for, which is these wave motions and this movement. Lots of beautiful sound design in there, but also some great, really organic brass motions too. And then I wrote this second piece, which is somewhat stylistically similar, but also different. So connecting these will be interesting. And the second piece is called The God of the Sea, and it sounds like this. So yeah, a little bit more sort of intense in orchestration, I guess, or more, slightly more complex maybe, strings, percussion, synths, vocals, everything really. It's a slightly different piece. I'm just going to sort of show you the tail end of the one and the beginning of the other. So yeah, we have these two quite different pieces. But they both sort of, one ends quite ambient and the other begins quite ambient. So there we go, they fade together quite well. So that's the end of the stream, guys. Thank you very much. No, I'm joking. We will write some new music to put in there, but they actually work together better than I thought they would. But I'm going to try and find a way to link them, to maybe just stitch them together. Now, I'm probably not going to do anything too complicated here. The whole idea that maybe we're thinking about this like almost like not so much an intro to a film, but maybe something like that, like an intro scene. So I'm actually thinking weirdly here, we're ending on that G fifth, as we might call it. And then maybe, I don't know, yeah, something like that. So G minor, maybe the E flat. Quite like that. Yeah, maybe we're going to try and end on this E sus4, and then to the A. Let's start by just filling these things in. So I'm going to take a pad because the intro is very pad based. It's nearly all same design with just some big brass swells. So we're going to sort of start creating a bridge. I think that sounds really nice, and I think with the brass it'll sound great. Nice, so these are beginning to come together. We've actually been doing a bit of work on Poseidon in the meantime, and I'm using a slightly more updated version that's I think going to be with you guys fairly soon, where the older version of Poseidon, each time you triggered a note, it was essentially triggering the start of the wave. But now we have a slightly more advanced system here where the waves are triggered essentially together. So if you start a wave with one note and then you add a second note halfway through, they will both line up and be at the same point in the performance. So you can get some beautiful transitions now. That's better. So now you can hear everything is playing as one, so you can get these beautiful swells with dynamic chord changes. Much better. See how everything comes off at the same time here. Nice. Beautiful. I'm going to slow these down slightly as well, so you can change the speed of the waves. Now I'm quite enjoying the very slightly, I know it sounds a bit strange, but having a slightly different human sort of speed to the waves. So I'm going to make these ones slightly slower, not too much. It's just going to really add a sort of, I think, slightly human quality to it. Nice. I think that sounds pretty cool. So here's what we have in the strings. And then could you have these brass as well? Just such a great tone. And then together, and we'll do some mixing just to finalize these, but we have sound great. All the brass is Poseidon, so everything you hear brass-wise is Poseidon here. So yeah, it kind of works. It kind of works, I think. And we'll just listen to the rest of it, give you guys a good idea of what Poseidon can do when it's all kind of mixed and orchestrated properly, because this piece is a finished piece. Harsh transition was just me not doing a very good job of programming. You can hear it actually sounds fine. It's just me. We could very quickly fix that. So yeah, we sort of linked these together. As I said, I would definitely do more work if I was sort of finishing this off. But this was just a little kind of demo of Poseidon today. Some of the new features that we've got, the way that you can now shape those different waves, which is just a fantastic feature. But hopefully it's given me a little overview as to what's available in Poseidon. We do also have, of course, on the Audio Imperia YouTube channel, a whole bunch of different walkthroughs and sort of showing Poseidon in use. Tom did an absolutely great walkthrough of his track, which I recommend highly you check out. He did a really, really good job of creating something beautiful with Poseidon. Made full use of the sound design, full use of some of the waves as well. Sounds great. So today we just sort of did a little live composition. It was just a little interlude section, but it was kind of good fun to show you some of the stuff, and hopefully it's given you a bit of an overview of what Poseidon can do. And we're going to be obviously carrying on these weekly live streams as always, but now on YouTube from this point forward. So I hope, yeah, it's been really good fun. And as I say, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. UK time, that's 8 a.m. on the west coast of the US at the moment. Things do change a little bit, but we're back on our normal 4 p.m. UK, 8 a.m. West Coast. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I shall call it a day for now, and I shall see you next Tuesday on YouTube. And keep checking the channel because there will be more shorts, more videos, more cool stuff getting uploaded over the coming days and weeks. So I'm really excited to share all that stuff with you. Thank you, Cosmodium, as always, for joining us. Yeah, it was a bit of a longer one, and surprised it went on for as long as it did, but that's just because I was having so much fun. Hope you guys were as well. So I will call it a day and say thank you and see you guys next week. Take care.